KHOU 11 News starts now.
If you have a dream to be something big, you should go for it. But you got to give it everything you got.
Yes, say it, Gaga. Now at 4, Lady Gaga talks about preparing for her Super Bowl halftime performance and what we can expect to see.
Oh, and the crowds are growing at Discovery Green across the street right now. And in just a few hours, Houston's own Solange will take the stage near the park. That is part of Super Bowl Live.
And downtown isn't the only spot that'll be busy tonight. The Chainsmokers and Sam Hunt will perform at the brand new pop-up venue, Club Nomadic. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Walking into the GRB this afternoon, we saw much bigger crowds
We
here
certainly
today.
did. You can tell it's Thursday, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Good afternoon. I'm Rekha Mutteraj.
And I'm Len Cannon. All week, we are live right here in the GRB Convention Center, where we check out the NFL experience. Sports fan or not, this is one huge week for Houston.
And today we are learning about the other big attraction this weekend, Lady Gaga's halftime show. We're getting a glimpse inside NRG Stadium, where Lady Gaga will perform on an elaborate set for what is sure to be an unforgettable show. Now, today we did hear from her and about her performance, as well as Luke Bryan and Lady Gaga.
Stephanie Whitfield was there for the big news conference. And Stephanie, what did Lady Gaga have to say?
Well, guys, first let me tell you, there were hundreds of members of the media from all over the world at this press conference, and the two singers fielded questions from some sports stars as well. There were some former football players, as well as Houston gymnast Simone Biles there. At NRG Stadium, the stage is nearly set for Super Bowl 51 in Houston.
Your mama packed you all up and moved you to
The big show will start with a performance from country music star Luke Bryan. He'll sing the national anthem.
To look back on my life and to remember what happened Sunday, it'll be certainly a highlight of my career and my entertainment life to be able to walk out there.
It's an honor shared by the one and only Lady Gaga.
Oh, say, can you see?
Just 1 year after her jaw-dropping pregame performance, the singer's been promoted to headliner. Today, she promised her halftime show will be high adrenaline and athletic, a lot like the game itself. But rest easy, Houston. Gaga says not to expect another wardrobe malfunction.
Everything is going to be nice and tight for the game, so I wouldn't worry about that. Unfortunately, some of you might have been excited for that.
The Grammy-winning performer has been practicing her 13-minute show for months. Even though millions will watch the performance all over the world, she has a special message for her young fans.
Is that what you're watching at the halftime show, it's not easy. And I say that because I want young people at home that are watching, when they see it, if you have a dream to be something big, you should go for it. But you got to give it everything you got.
Okay, so both artists, of course, got questions about who they are rooting for on Sunday. Lady Gaga kept her answer PC and said she's not going to answer that until after her performance. But Luke Bryan fessed up to supporting the Falcons, so hopefully the Pats fans out there aren't too disappointed. Guys, back to you.
Oh, goodness. All right. So nice to hear from them. Thank you, Stephanie.
I'm not going to be PC. I want the Dirty Birds of Atlanta to win, and I want them to give it all they got. Lady Gaga has plenty of material to choose from for the halftime performance.
Yeah, we want to know, what song do you want to hear? Million Reasons, Poker Face, or Bad Romance? Go to KHOU.com/vote now to make your pick. Remember, not a scientific poll. This is just for fun. Before we move on, though, we've got to talk about our Lady Gaga sighting.
We had a Lady Gaga sighting.
Yeah.
She was just on the other side of the GRB. I was coming out of the restroom, and I said, I'm sorry, who is that? I said, Lady Gaga. But nobody was around her. I was just kind of surprised.
Yeah.
It was kind of fun.
And then you and I ran to try to go see her. She was signing autographs.
By then, there was an army of security people around her.
Hey, and for pregame, we learned that the show will give special shout-outs to Space City, including a tribute to astronauts John Glenn and Gene Cernan.
There will also be a flyover by the Thunderbirds, and the show will include a tribute to historically black universities. Let's take you a live look right now. In less than 3 hours, the doors will open at Club Nomadic, a 3-level, 62,000 square foot nightclub. Didn't even exist a couple of weeks ago, and it'll disappear a weekend after a full of weekend performances. It starts off with the DJ duo, the Chainsmokers, and country singer Sam Hunt. We'll take a look inside and tell you about a strict dress code at this club. That's coming up at 5 o'clock. A year-round operation targeting fake Super Bowl swag leads to more than 50 arrests.
Local, state, and federal investigators shared the results of Operation Team Player today. They say a lot of counterfeit merchandise is showing up in Houston this week. We got to see some of the merchandise seized during raids, including last night. And in many cases, it's difficult to tell counterfeit items from the real deal. Coming up at 5, we're going to take a look at some of the ways you can avoid getting ripped off. Important information for all the people around here buying souvenirs.
I saw a signed Earl Campbell jersey. What? Come on.
Well, the Super Bowl attracts a horde of media from around the world.
Yeah, it's like cattle call. Reporters are scouring the city looking for stories. Jason Bristol live outside the GRB with a look at where they all hang out. Jason.
Well, that's right, and yes, this is football, but I'm going to borrow a baseball term here. Here at the GRB, there is a bullpen. Yes, a bullpen. It is called Radio Row, where hundreds of reporters are recording their live radio shows, hoping to get that one fantastic quote. And as our Michael Perchek reports, Radio Row is growing and growing each year.
Jason, Super Bowl week much bigger than the game itself, and there may not be any experience that magnifies it more than right here on Radio Row. You want a Mike Ditka lookalike? Got it. You want SpongeBob dressed as a football player? Check. You want Papa John, Archie Manning, and Deshaun Watson making pizza? Well, to each their own, but yes, they've got that too.
This event has just exploded. This is
Mike Francesa is a longtime CBS sports radio host. He remembers his first Radio Row nearly 3 decades ago.
We used to go to the Super Bowl, take the Mike and the Mad Dog show there, and be the only station there. So it was very intimate, and we didn't even notice other stations even showing up for 3 or 4 years.
It also brings in many players not competing in Sunday's game, like Saints star quarterback Drew Brees.
Talking about one of the great football states, right? So people get excited about football, and especially, what is the pinnacle of our game, which is the Super Bowl championship.
He's in town helping promote Chevron's STEM initiative, combining football with math, science, and technology. Shepherded from interview to interview, Brees said he's enjoyed seeing many familiar faces.
I've got relationships with a lot of the guys that I end up talking to on the radio. Some of them are former players or former coaches. Some of them are just longtime media guys that you've just known your whole career.
So what happens when a show becomes a show within itself? That's Radio Row. From the George R. Brown Convention Center, Michael Perchik, KHOU 11 News.
And to sum up, promote, 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 wash, rinse, repeat. That sums up Radio Row. For now, though, let's go to Shern Min in the studio with more news.
All right, Jason. Well, it's a formula that has worked well. Thanks. Here are some of the top stories today. Houston police investigating a possible road rage shooting that happened early this morning. Authorities say someone opened fire on a driver on the East Freeway about 4:30 a.m. The motorist says he was on I-10 near Highway 59 when someone in a black sports car fired several shots at him, striking his window. You can see it there. The victim had minor injuries from the flying glass, but was not struck by a bullet. He says he has no idea why the other driver fired at him.
I was trying to drink my coffee, actually. I'm on my way to work, and I was thinking about the day, and glass started shattering around me. So I thought maybe I was going to die.
Obviously, he did not. The driver says he was not able to get a good look at the shooter. So far, no arrests. The family of a missing 13-year-old from the Manville area says she was found safe last night. Avery Bright's family says she disappeared after leaving to walk her dog earlier this week. The dog came home, but she didn't. Without telling her family, Avery took an Uber into Houston and made a stop at Discovery Green. No word where she is found, but she is safe. And with all the Super Bowl festivities, don't forget about the Houston Rockets. Tonight you can watch the team take on the Atlanta Hawks. Yes, the Falcons are not the only team from Atlanta in town. The game will be at the Toyota Center. Tip-off is at 7 o'clock. So, a busy downtown. Len and Reka, only going to get even more crowded.
Yeah, we want the Rockets to knock out the Hawks tonight. Not that Atlanta team.
Yeah, no.
All right. The Super Bowl isn't only bringing visitors and national attention to Houston.
How it's also creating jobs for refugees who are trying to make a life for themselves here in the U.S.
Plus, Party Like a Star, where some celebrities will be hanging out tonight. We get a look inside of one of the biggest parties of the week. And David, another fantastic, stupendous day in our city, right?
I know, right? We're like running out of expletives. Mother Nature continues to impress. Coming up, we'll talk about why you need to bring a jacket down here if you're coming down here to the experience at a Discovery Green or to the game tonight at Toyota Center. And we'll take a detailed look at the weekend Super Bowl forecast. Back with all that in just a couple of minutes.
Touchdown Houston, presented by Space Center Houston.
Touchdown Houston, that's downtown Houston. You see the GRB in the background there, Marriott Marquis to the left, and it is jumping downtown with another great day outside and inside with hundreds of thousands of people who are here pouring into the city over the next few days. That means more jobs being created.
Yeah, and dozens of those jobs are actually being filled by refugees from Iraq, Iran, Cuba, and many other countries. Adam Bennett shows us where they are working and how agencies say it'll help them long after the game leaves town.
Oh, there we go. This is my favorite.
It's a crash course on all things H-Town, waiting for America's newest arrivals when they walk into their new apartment.
All of them have a Whataburger also.
A Welcome to Houston guidebook from the students of Lanier Middle School to the families helped by Refugee Services of Texas. Now, these new Houstonians not only get to learn about the state's biggest sport, they get to be part of that sport's biggest game.
Honestly, the first question they ask is, what is the Super Bowl? And then we try to compare it to the World Cup.
It's a culture shock former Somalian refugee Mohammed Mukhtar understands as he's helped refugees fill Super Bowl-related jobs, catering, cleaning, setup, and teardown for events and parties in and around downtown.
It's going to open their eyes up and, see this excitement that's happening in their city.
Almost half of the people that were interviewed got jobs in the Super Bowl.
Resettlement Program Supervisor Basel Mosley says even if the work is temporary, the benefits will continue long after the big game leaves town.
It gives them reference in the future. It gives them something like to write in their resume that they started working here in the U.S.
What do we want? Justice!
And while some of that excitement has been interrupted by political changes hitting close to home for their clients, these former refugees hope this week will be a chance not just to find work, but also find common ground.
And hopefully they'll get to know people one-on-one rather just, judging them from the screens that they see them on.
Adam Bennett, KHOU 11 News.
Oh, that's great stuff. Getting more crowded inside the GRB and outside on the roads. And we got a crowd right here. Hey, guys.
Hey, who y'all rooting for?
Who you rooting for?
Oh, Cowboys.
Somebody
We got
said Cowboys.
Well, someone let them know
Security.
they're not at the Super Bowl, but that's okay. You can still be a Cowboys fan. Hey, Darby Douglas is tracking actually all of the traffic around town. It's going to increase, obviously, with all of these Super Bowl visitors here. So how does it look right now, Darby?
Well, I'll tell you what, I got in about 3 o'clock this afternoon, and getting into the downtown area was not bad at all. But now you can see, coming in from the west side, really starting to get backed up. Take a look at our Houston TransStar shot. Here's Interstate 69, the Southwest Freeway at Shepherd. You crawl from here all the way into downtown. The Katy Freeway, you're backing down around TC Jester. It stays slow all the way in. So getting into downtown is going to be a bit of a problem. Now, if you're going to go into downtown, of course, we've been talking about this all week long. Everything in front of the George R. Brown Convention Center over to the Toyota Center is completely blocked off. And there's so much Uber and taxi traffic out there. And then the food trucks trying to get into the GRB. You just want to avoid the area. And the Super Bowl committee is basically telling you, park on the west side of downtown if you're going to make the drive in. Park on the west side of downtown. They've got 62,000 plus parking spots. And then they have the downtown circulators. And just remember your route, green, orange, silver, whichever one you take so you can get back. Plus, they've got a Midtown connector. And if you want to park in the Galleria, they got a Galleria connector. And it's all free, David Paul. You can get down there for free and they take you right on back. And you brought good weather again, didn't you?
I mean, Mother Nature is just, Darby, you and I know. I mean, there are often spring breaks in March that are not as nice as this week of weather has been and continues to be. Now, that being said, it's going to get chilly tonight in a hurry. So if you're coming down to the Rockets game tonight, take a jacket. Temps will drop into the 50s during and after the game. And as Houston shimmers in the afternoon sun, let me remind you, it's good here, really good, because it's not always like this. On this day in Houston weather history, 1896, we had a huge rainy washout. On this day in 1951, we were in the middle of one of the worst ice storms in Houston history. On this day in 1980, I got to miss school at 6th grade at Bama Middle School because we had 1.5 inches of snow and it shut down the whole city. All right, this weekend, gorgeous. 63 Saturday with a slight rain chance, 75 Sunday with a slight rain chance. But compared to the way it could be and has been, this weekend's going to be wonderful. Now, 5 things. Radar, a couple of showers near the coast, one drifting toward Hitchcock and Lamarck. Won't be too big of a deal, should push off the coast here pretty quickly. Number 4, temperatures continue to cool off. We're dropping into the 60s. We will quickly drop into the 50s this evening. That's why I'm saying take a jacket with you. Number 3, hour by hour, we'll drop into the 50s by 8, 9, 10 o'clock. Spin the wheel. We end up tomorrow morning in the upper 40s, so it is chilly and cloudy, but I think overall pretty nice. Number 2, temperature trend. We got a couple of cooler days tomorrow and Saturday. We warm to the mid-70s for Super Sunday, and then we stay warm going into the middle of next week. Here's your extended forecast. Cool but nice Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with only a slight rain chance. It's in there, but it's only 20%. And then warming up as we go into the first part of next week. The weather so far has been one of the best parts of the show with Super Bowl 51. Reka and Len, back to you guys on the floor of the GRB.
Nice job, David Hall. Nice job.
Yeah.
A Texas-sized party. The NFL legends who may be hitting the town at one of tonight's biggest soirees. Next. There's plenty to see and do right here at the NFL Experience inside the GRB, from testing your field goal accuracy to even catching some passes.
None of those things I can do. However, I will be trying. Greg Hurst is actually doing it as well. He is live to show us some of the great memorabilia you can see here at the GRB. Hey, Greg.
Hi, guys. Terrific stuff here. What do you do if you can't make it to Canton, Ohio and the NFL Hall of Fame? Well, you come here to the Brown Convention Center and you stop off at Hunt Auctions. Check this out. Dallas was so close to making it to this year's Super Bowl. Well, this team did. The Doomsday defense, even the Texans getting a little bit of love here. J.J. Watt as well. And take a walk with me over here real quick as you take a look at some of the other memorabilia. And all of this is going up for auction. You see all these jerseys here along with this MVP trophy that Brett Favre has donated. That right there is going to be going up for auction. Right now the bid is $30,000, but soon it could go much higher because there's going to be another auction coming up on Saturday, the live auction, and you can join in on all the fun at 11 o'clock right here at the NFL Experience. Guys, back to you.
Cool stuff. All right, Greg, thank you. Hey, it's a party for people who love Texas. You know, I got my Texas boots on. We'll show you a little later.
Yes.
But the big Texas party kicks off in just under 3 hours, paving the way for what is really going to be a long stretch of Super Bowl soirees leading up to the big game.
You went to one last night, didn't you?
I did. Good
Drew
times.
Carritas live at Silver Street Studios, where organizers are putting the final touches on a Texas-sized bash. Drew?
What's up, guys? With all of the football fans from across the country that have descended on H-Town, this is the one party you're really going to find geared toward locals. And the dress code, Sexy Texan. I don't know if I'm achieving that, but I brought out my cowboy hat and my cowboy boots. If you love everything Texas, this certainly is the place to be. The Big Texas Party, presented by Culture Map, ESPN Radio, and SB Nation, features beer from a number of local and regional breweries and local barbecue. That's sure to be finger-licking good, served up by 10 different pit masters. If you're a fan of good old Texas country, you'll hear it here from musical guest Bart Crow. And if you want to catch a glimpse and maybe even take a photo with some of NFL's biggest athletes, past and present, this may be your best shot.
We've got some legendary players from the past. On the Cowboys, we've got Ed Too Tall Jones, Randy White, Charles Haley will be here. Great former Oilers, guys like Chris Dishman, Mike Barber. It's going to be a great collection of Oilers. And then current players include guys like Dak Prescott of the Cowboys, Jadeveon Clowney of the Texans. It's a really great group. It's a chance for fans to come and meet face-to-face and get their pictures taken with some of the top athletes.
And if you want to get in, there are still tickets left for $125 a pop. Tickets are available on thebigtexasparty.com. We've also attached a link on our website, KHOU.com. Sales close in under an hour at 5 o'clock, and they will not be available here at the door. This event will get started tonight at 7. It goes until 11. We're hearing this is going to be the pre-party for everyone that's heading over to Club Nomadic. Organizers say if you're planning on coming here, don't even try to drive yourself because it's going to be a madhouse. Back to you guys.
Looking forward to it. Should be
Yeah,
great.
Drew looking sharp there.
He does.
All right, Drew, thank you.
Giddy up. The Falcons and Patriots players are focusing on the game, but guess what? They have some opinions about the halftime show.
Do they now?
Yeah.
Okay, what the players are saying about Lady Gaga's upcoming performance. Music fans aren't the only ones excited for Lady Gaga's halftime show.
Oh no, the Super Bowl Twitter account shared a little video of NFL players talking about Lady Gaga.
I do like Lady Gaga.
She's going to have a great show, I'm sure.
Unfortunately, I won't be able to enjoy that halftime show, but maybe the wife will set the DVR. I can catch it on the back end.
I hope she does as well as we're going to do, and I hope she comes and celebrates us after we win the Super Bowl. If you guys can pass that on to her, I'd love to meet her. Yeah.
Yeah, no matter what, it will be a show.
It will
a
be.
real show.
No doubt. Next at 4:30, who is Matt Bryant? He's one of the best kickers in the NFL, and he's from Texas. Hear about his journey to the big game.